वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. I welcome everyone who are in temple as well as who are online at Durga temple. Today is 28th of October and we will go further in our Gita study. We missed the last two pravachans due to the Priti Puja and also then subsequently the Durga Havan. So we have to recap a bit because when the continuity is lost, the inertia is lost. Inertia is very, very important in life, everywhere. So even in study, when we are not in touch, we try to repeat, we try to recap. So we'll try to do a little recap today of what we were talking and which sloka was there. And then today the point to be understood or discussed in through these slokas which we are going to take is that how to keep stable, how to maintain your posture, how to be calm in various situations in life. Because anyone will always pass through various situations in life, and while passing through that they will get disturbed, and disturbance is the thing which eventually causes the pain and other issues subsequent, anger and all that. So we are going to study about it, and also what is the way to achieve it. So it is not only what is to be achieved, it is the way, the path through which we have to achieve it. So these are the things which we are going to learn. So first I will just chant the sloka which we took last time and just recap on that. Dukheshvanudigmanaha sukheshu vigata spruha Vitaraga bhaya krodha sthita dhir muniruchyate. This is where we were analyzing the whole thing. The दुखों की प्राप्ति के होने पर जिसके मन में उद्वेग नहीं होता, अनुद्विग्न मनः, and सुखों की प्राप्ति होने पर जिसके मन में स्पृहा नहीं होती. So there is no there is in the mind, the mind is completely undisturbed in the misery as well as in the pleasure. And then vitaraga bhaya krodha, whose raga, bhaya and krodha is gone, whose is the stitadhi muniruchyate. That is a guy who is supposed to be the stitadhi. Dhi means buddhi, dhi means intellect. One whose intellect is steady, that is what it is telling. So that is what we are looking, and we understood the definitions because it's very important to understand various things over here. The first was understanding the definition of what is sukha and dukha. A thing which is dukha for one person is sukha for other person. Then we understood that why do people go through the dukha? By selecting the dukha. They go through the selection. Deliberately people go for the dukha, for the misery, for the high effort. All those things are why it is necessary. Why do people select it or elect it? That we will see. Then we went through for the definition of sukha and dukha. We went through the Maslow's triangle of needs, and we tried to understand it. Then we understood that because the dukkha and sukha definition is related to the people, so the relativity of it with various factors. And then we also understood raga, bhaya and krodha. That should we have anger? Should we have the fear in life? Is it required? When it is telling vitaraga, which is gone. Gone means what? Gone means it is not there or it is there, and how to be used. That is what we were thinking. The need of all these three in life, we talked about it. The greed for and then we understood what it means over here. The greed for the future. Oh, I should have more and more and more. And the anger for the past, the injustice, the loss of effort, the feelings which were hurt in the past, we have the anger for it. And then we have got the fear for the present, like whatever I have should not be gone. That is a fear. So the meaning of vitaraga bhayakrodha here is for the future, the past and the present, and it is not just to leave the anger and all that. So that is important part here. Then the person can be stable in all these three is the one which we are, is the one who is happy forever. That is what we are looking at. So we will go further on the 57th sloka. We will go with the 57th sloka and try to understand it. So I will chant the 57th sloka first. Yah sarvatrana visnehas tatta prapya shubha shubham nabhinandanti na dveshti tasya pragya pratisthita. Yes, this is sloka. This is where the God is explaining a very, very important difference, because we are always told that one who is pious, one who is more spiritual, what should they do? They should do the tyag, very big one. And we say that asakti rahit, asakti nahi honi chahiye. So God is telling here very, very important part. Let us first do the anvay part of it. One who remains unattached under all conditions and is neither delighted by good fortune nor dejected by tribulation. He is a sage with perfect knowledge. This is a kind of definition which we can translate in English. सब जगह आसक्ति रहित हुआ जो मनुष्य उस शुभ अशुभ को प्राप्त करके न तो अभिनंदित होता है, अभिनंदित, नाभिनंदती, न अभिनंदती, न द्वेष्टि एंड न द्वेष्टि और न द्वेष करता है, उसकी प्रज्ञा, तस्य प्रज्ञा, प्रज्ञा इंटेलेक्ट, तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता, स्थिर है. Here the word pratisthit means the sthir, stable, unshaken. See, we always sing Achyutam Keshavam, Achyutam Keshavam Shri Ram Narayana, right? Achyut is one of the quality of God. We say Achyutam Keshavam. Achyut means one who is shaken. Achyut means one who is not shaken. One of the quality of God is that who is not shaken in any condition. He is stable. And this is the quality which we are supposed to be picking up. That is what it is telling. So, here the word asakti rahit, unattached. Asakti means attachment, indulgence, infatuation, addiction. Mamata, rag, bandhan, anurag, priti. All these words are synonyms of asakti. So, who is unattached and how to become unattached? This is the question. Because here the God is telling, Yaha sarvatra anabhisnehas, anabhisneh, unattached. How to be unattached and how to tatta prapya shubha ashubha. That means favorable and non-favorable. We are going to be stable, anabhisnehas. How to be that? Does it mean that leaving the thing, abandon? Asakti means what? And anasakta means what? Anasakta means a person who abandons. Because when we say that I have lost the asakti in this object or in this situation, what do? We leave it. It is told that when the asakti is gone, we leave the thing. That is what is a general understanding. This is extremely important because in some ways of life, some schools of thoughts says that when the asakti is gone, that means you are leaving the thing. संसार में आसक्ति नहीं रही इसलिए साधु बन गया. A person became sadhu because he lost the asakti in the sansar. Gita doesn't say that person as anasakta. The person who leaves the world, the person who leaves the worldly matter, the person who leaves the battlefield of life is not told as a anasakta as per Gita. He is not told as anasakta. Going of asakti, going of the indulgence, the attachment means what? Now let us see what are the impacts going to be as a practical, as an individual as well as a society. Now, if somebody has a anasakta and we say that, oh, everybody should be anasakta, what will happen? If everybody is anasakta, what will happen? If all of the good people who are anasakta will leave the worldly matter, means they will say that, oh, I don't need money, I don't need fame, I don't need power, I don't need any the worldly or money making education. They will, suppose all the good people become anasakta and leave the world, what will happen? The resources will be in the hands of the people who are not good for themselves as well as for the society. Yes, the wrong impact and the wrong usage of resources, that will happen. So the world will become very bad. Those people, and it has been seen in the history, those people who say that, oh, I don't want anything, I will just leave the world and I will just go to a forest and I will just do the, my concentration and meditation. If good people will do that, the bad people will come and they will start ruling. There will be political instability, there will be social instability, there will be atrocity, there will be killing of humanity. That will happen. If the good people will leave the power, will leave the money. So, leaving something is not, number one, it is not anasakta, and secondly, it is not practical as a society to leave. Because the bad people or wrong people will start capturing the resources in form of a power, money, everywhere. And they will try to pratadit karna, what we say. They will try to make the normal people life miserable. So practically also it is not right for good people to leave the worldly matters, to leave the worldly tenures. They cannot leave, they should not leave. That is number one point. Secondly, some people say that I am leaving it because I am bored with a thing. I am bored. Agatikta in Sanskrit or in Hindi also, I think the word is agatikta. The person will say that I am having agatikta. I am bored. We see many people who are who are aged people. They will say that I am bored. I am not interested. I am not interested in dancing. I am not interested in singing. I am not interested in food. Whatever they are bored. They are bored. Does the getting bored and leaving means anasakta? Getting bored and leaving something is anasakta? It is not anasakta. It is because of either a compulsion or because the person no more gets the fun or the pleasure out of that, and that is why they are leaving it. It is not that their asakti has gone, but the pleasure which they are getting from that object or from that thing is no more there, and that is why they are leaving the object. That is what is called as they say that is abstains. They abstain from it, but that doesn't mean anasakta. Remember, we are trying to here understand the word anasakta and what it is meaning for a person as well as to the society. As a society, we should not be leaving the thing because the resources will go in the bad hands. As a person also, just as a bored person, if a person is leaving a thing, that doesn't mean that he is anasakta. It is only because the person has lost either sensual capacity or psychological satisfaction level with that object, and that is why they say that I am bored and I do not want it. But that doesn't mean it is anasakta. Then there is another living, which is living by compulsion. A person may like to eat gulab jamuns very much, but the doctor has told, no, you cannot eat any sweet. You have got lots of sugar. You have got diabetes. You cannot eat any sweet items. So it is by compulsion. The person likes to eat gulab jamun, the person likes the taste of the gulab jamun, but the problem is that because of the compulsion, because of the physical limitation, the person has to leave it. Now if that person is telling, I am anasakta with the sweets, that is not anasakta. It is by compulsion. Leaving a thing by compulsion doesn't mean anasakta. Similarly, living through fear in the same way. if imagine there is a mother and children. The mother has made some sweets and mother has put it in a jar, and now the mother is telling that to the kid that you are not going to eat more than one sweet a day. If you are going to eat more than one sweet, I am going to punish you. The kid is afraid, he is fearful. So with the fear, the kid is eating only one sweet, one candy. That doesn't mean that the kid is anasakta. It is through the fear. So living anything through the fear doesn't mean anasakta. There is also living through the love. It is not only negative, it is positive also. I remember one incident where I had a co-worker, and the co-worker was having a habit of smoking, and a very long-term habit. Like he was smoking for over 45 years. He was smoking one cigarette, one packet a day, and it was he was addicted completely to smoking. Now on his daughter's 25th birthday, the daughter, he was celebrating it. Wow, 25th birthday or something like that, 25th, 20th birthday, some birthday. And that he asked the daughter, what do you need? What do you want? Daughter was very thoughtful. So daughter had already thought about it, because doctor, he already got one paralytic attack, and doctor was very much, telling him to leave the smoking, but he couldn't because he was addicted. So the daughter asked the father that if you want to give me any gift on my birthday, then please leave your smoking. Now this is a very sentimental thing for the father. He is very sensitive about it. He really loves his daughter. So because of that, he left smoking. So even leaving the smoking from love is also possible. He left something which he liked, but he left it. Why? Because he loved the daughter and he committed to her, and he left smoking. So living like that, living through love, living through some other feeling, does it mean anasakta? It does not. So when we see, why we are taking this example? Because in the society, we see the people. We see the people who are leaving who are abstaining from the things, who are leaving the things. Yeah, बहुत बड़े साधु हैं, सिर्फ फल खाते हैं. He is a very great man because he is not eating any grains. That is considered as a very spiritual. That is considered very pious. So here we are analyzing. See, we have to use our intellect, because there is here in Gita there is a sloka, Uddared Atmanam Natmanam Vasadayet. Nobody in the world can make us and get us to the liberation, to the moksha, than ourselves. So we have to think ourselves in our intellect, and that is what we are trying to do here. So somebody living something doesn't really mean that they are anasakta. This is we are trying to. Also, the result of feeling insult, social consequences, social defame. All these factors keeps a person in alignment. All these factors keeps a person in alignment. That doesn't mean that that person has become anasakta. Why we are drawing this line, why we are studying this? The reason is because a person who is in alignment, who is in line, who is in discipline, he is not anasakta. In other words, the impact of objects and situations in the society is present in the mind, in the intellect, and on the senses of that person. Anasakta means whose senses, whose intellect is not shaken. A person who leaves the various objects and habits due to various reasons which we describe is not anasakta. He is still attached, he is still connected with those objects. So, living through the false pride. Yeah, we say the children, oh, my kid is going to study 10 chapters and then only he eats. This gives a feeling of pride in the mind of a person. So even though the kid is very hungry, kid is not going to eat but going to do the lessons. Why? Because there is a pride. The pride may be a false pride or a true pride. In either cases, there is a pride, and people leave the things due to the pride also. So, let us take a story to understand this in a little more better way. What happened that there was a small village, and then there was a king of that village, the Mukhiya. And one simple man, he came to the village and he saw that the whole village was having lots of celebration. So he asked the Mukhiya, he asked the king that why there is such a big celebration in the village. What is the cause? Is there any festival or something? He says, no, there is no festival. But we got one very big Mahatma. We got a very big, great soul who is visiting our village. And this person doesn't eat anything. He has abstained from the food. And he is not eating at all. He is eating only banana or something like that. So he has left all the grains and all those tasty food, and he is just eating very simple food and all that. And so he is a great soul, and he has come to bless our village. So remember, what we are trying to do here is not to defame someone, but trying to understand the definition of anasakta. This is important. So this person is telling, oh wow, that is great. Let me also go for the darshan of this Mahatma. So he goes over there. He's saying that, oh no, you cannot see the Mahatma now. Mahatma is living in this hut, and only on the Friday morning he is going to give the darshan. You will not get the darshan of Mahatma so easily. Yeah. So he waited for the Friday. So from Thursday afternoon only, all the villagers gathered outside that hut of the Mahatma. They started doing all bhajans, and they started doing all the kirtan and the praising of the Mahatma. Whole night they were celebrating, and food and this and that, everything was there. And then the Mahatma was brought out. He was sitting on a big wooden plate. So he was brought out, and by the king and the queen, they lifted him a palki utakar, the palki. So they brought him out, and they cleaned him, and they prayed him and all that. And the simple man is looking at it, and everybody bowed to the Mahatma. And then Mahatma went again in the evening. Mahatma went back into the hut. He went back. He was put back into the hut with some food like bananas and all that. And then they told that now this Mahatma is going to give the darshan after 1 week. Till then he is going to do the meditation, he is going to do concentration, and he will eat only banana through the whole week. What a spiritual soul. Now this simple person was maybe looking very simple, may not be looking, like physically with lots of clothes and all those kind of tripund and all that, but he was a very thorough knowledge of what is maybe Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, we can say. So he told the king that, you know what, I think this Mahatma is a great soul, but he's on a wrong path. So king says, how come? He's a great guy. You come next Friday also. You stay in the village, and in the next week also we will see. So same thing happened. The Thursday come, everybody big halla gulla, all lots of bhajan, lots of everything happened. Yeah, and then on Friday morning the Mahatma was again brought out, the king and queen, and then bowed to him, and all those things happened. And Mahatma told that now I am going to focus and concentrate more. So I am not going to eat anything. I will just drink water. And the cycle repeated, and the next week he came out again and he told, I am not going to drink even any water also. I am going to meditate fully. So the king told, see, look at this Mahatma. He proves that he is anasakta. He doesn't need anything, because he is trying to focus. He is trying to meditate. So this man told that, okay, if you permit, let us do one simple thing. Example, and let us see what happens. And king was thoughtful. King was not a blind faith person. So king was thoughtful. King told, okay, what do you want? He said, next Friday, when we are taking the Mahatma out, nobody should be there. You don't go. Just take the Mahatma out, because he's coming on every Friday morning out, and then he's sitting in the sun or whatever, and then you put him back. There will be no bhajan, there will be no kirtanam, there is no praising, there is no king and queen washing the feet of the Mahatma. Do that. So next Thursday come, and that Mahatma is sitting in the hut. He is listening. He can listen. So he was thinking that now this is Thursday, and there will be a lot of halla gulla and bhajan and kirtan and all that will happen. Nothing was there. It was complete silence. He was worried. What happened? What happened? He was worried. So, and what happened on Friday morning? Two simple police guys, the Sipahi, they came, they told Mahatma, okay, this is Friday, please come out. So they lift him, and then they put him out over there. And in front of him, on the whole veranda, the whole thing, there is no one to praise Mahatma. There is no one to give him value, respect. All those things were not there. There is no bhajan, kirtan, nobody is going praising, nobody is telling Mahatma ki jai. It was all empty, completely. It is very difficult. It was very difficult for Mahatma to understand. And then in the afternoon, evening, again those two people come, and they put him back in the hut, and then they close the door. What happened? That Mahatma was, the food of that Mahatma was the pride, the praise which he was getting. The king and queen are washing his feet. That was the food which he was getting to go through the whole week without food, the physical food. So what happened is that when 1 week passed and the door was opened, Mahatma was no more. He died. So the simple man is telling the king that this Mahatma was a great person, but he was on a wrong path. He was not anasakta. He was asakta with the man bhukhya. That is called as a man ki bhukh. The hunger of praise, the hunger of getting respect from king and queen was the food which that person was getting. The moment that food was stopped, the Mahatma died. The understanding of this from the story is that leaving a thing doesn't mean that it is anasakta. That Mahatma left so many things, but he was still asakta in getting respect from king and queen and the village people and praise and all that. When that food also stopped, he couldn't survive. So anasakta doesn't mean only leaving the food and all these things and all that, or even not, this is important part to understand the word anasakta. So how a anasakta person lives? What is the psychological status of anasakta? आसक्त नहीं है वो अनासक्त. What is the status? It is related to the expectation of a person. It is related to the attachment of a person. So, one of the example which I always give is related to the lotus. See, we always see that our god and goddesses are given weapons and other things in their hand. Right? These murtis are having a great meaning behind it. It gives us a message how to live in our life. So, one of the example we take today now is about the lotus, the flower of lotus in the hand of Mata Lakshmi, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of money, the wealth. Why there is a lotus flower in her hand? Why not other flower? A gulab or a rose or a mogra or some other flower. Why lotus only? Because generally people get more connected and drawn for the wealth or the money. So the lotus flower, what does it say? You take a lotus flower, you totally submerge it into the water and you take it out. Is there any water touching the lotus flower? No. Where the lotus flower grow? In the water itself. It grows in the water. It gets its nurturing in the water. It flourish in the same muddy water. But it is untouched by the water. That is anasakta. You do not abstain. You do not leave. Because one of the major misconception put in the mind of the people, especially the Sanatana Dharma follower, is that दुनिया छोड़कर ही मोक्ष मिलेगा. A very, very incorrect concept put in the mind of the people. छोड़कर ही जिंदगी में शांति प्राप्त होगी. No, it is not. You do not leave the thing. You leave the attachment with the thing. That is anasakta. And that is very important. And the understanding of that is what Mother Lakshmi is giving us. Then a example, a message by keeping the flower of lotus in the hand. Mother is trying to teach us that when I will come to your place, when the prosperity comes, when the money comes, be like a lotus. Don't become egoistic. Don't be ruthless. Don't become an insulting person, an egoistic person. The more the power comes, we have seen people with the power and money, people become egoistic. They think they are great. They start abusing the people. They start insulting the people. Mother Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi is giving us this message. Anasakta. Yeah. And same in the bad condition also. Shiva, Lord Shiva, Bhagwan Shiva. उनके गले में सांप है. There is a snake in his neck. What does it mean? There will be difficulty in the life. There will be difficult people around you. Yeah, like a snake in the neck. There will be difficult people around you. How to handle it? With Shant, how much, whenever you see the Shankar, whenever we come to the temple, you look at the Murti of the Shankar. How much peaceful he is. How much calm he is. How much comfortably he is doing his work of meditation. Even with a snake in the neck. So in good condition or bad condition, being untouched is the important part, and keeping focused on your duties. And this can come only through the intellect. intellect getting understanding of jnana yoga, buddhi yoga, jnana yoga. That is what is going to give us the steadfast intellect. A steadfast, so what is the underlining, what is the sentence is, the steadfast intellect can control and guide the mind, which in turn controls the senses, and while going through various life experiences every day. One who goes through various life experiences every day and maintains unshaken, unattached, achyut, he is the person who is anasakta. That person may be driving a Mercedes. That person may be a big industrialist. That person may be a very big professor or a scientist. That person may be a very simple housewife. That person may be a worker in a company, working on a machine. That person may be selling a hawker, selling vegetables on the streets. That person may be doing anything. The outside doesn't show, the outside doesn't define the intellectual status of anasakta person. This is very, very important to understand. Anasakta is not coming by virtue of external look. It is coming by the jnana in the intellect of a person. That is important. Now, somebody may ask, okay, so then how to handle everyday experiences when they come? How to handle it? Okay, I understood what is anasakta, but whenever the new experiences come every day in my life, I get I get shaken up. I become unstable. I feel anger, or all those feelings comes to me. My senses are pulling me towards it. So how do I become anasakta? Okay, I understood what is anasakta, but how do I become? How do I practice? How do I start becoming anasakta? And God knows this. So that is why the God gave an example, which is the next sloka. So we'll go to the next sloka and try to see what God is telling. Yeah, you explained us what is anasakta, but how to do it in everyday life. And that is why there is a next sloka. I'll chant the next sloka. It is 58th sloka of second chapter. I'll chant it. Yada sanharate chayam kurmongani vasarvashah indriyanindriyarthebhya stasya pragya pratisthita. God has given us an example. Yada sangharte chayam. Sangharte, withdraw. Sangharte means to withdraw, to take in. Yada. How? Kurma. Kurma means the tortoise, the turtle. Just like a turtle, kurmangani, kurmo angani va sarvashaha. What? Sangharte. Just like a turtle takes all his indriya, means his legs and head, inside the shell, and whenever it requires, it takes it out. Whenever not required, wherever a situation is coming, a fear is coming, or any other reason, it takes all the legs and the head inside the shell. Yada sangharte, just like the kurma, the turtle, angani takes, sangharte takes it in, angani, all the organs, it takes it, sarvashaha, all the organs. Remember, important part is all the organs, because some people can take some organs inside but not the other. So sarvashaha is also very important word here. Yada sangharte chayam, just like a kurma, a kurmongani va sarvashaha, just like a turtle is taking all his organs inside, sangharte cha ayam, all of that sarvashaha, all the organs is taking in, indriyani indriyarthebhya, from the senses of the objects. Remember, the senses are having the feeling of the object. It is not the object which has got the feeling. So the controlling is with the senses and not with the object. Just like a lotus is in the water, but it doesn't get touched, so it doesn't get touched. So in the same way, when the outside objects will touch the indriya, outside objects will get connected with the indriya. Outside objects will impact. Yeah. If I am hungry and if I am looking at food, naturally my mouth will start watering. That is very prakrutinajanya, prakrutik. You cannot stop it. It is impossible to stop it. Because Prakruti will work. I'll give a very painful example subsequently. We will see that. So, Indriyani, Indriyarthebhya means from the senses of the object. He brings the senses back. Remember, this is very, I will try to give it a little slow. The organs, physical organ, I will use the word, is still in connection with the object, but the sensing of that object is taken in. So the impact of the object doesn't reach the mind and the intellect. It is a very well-known example people give. The body with which I hug and I hug my wife, with the same body. I hug my sister, with the same body. I hug my daughter, with the same body. I hug my mother. But the feeling is different. The example to give this is because the organs will come in contact with the object. But the feeling behind it is to be taken in or out. This is important. It is not the disconnection of the organ with the objects. It is the sensing in the organ to be taken in or out as we require. Kurmangani va sarvasha. Very important, because anga means we have got so many anga. You know the whole Agyaras part. Maybe we will talk about it again. But we have got five. We have got 5 karmendriya and 5 gyanendriya. There are 5 organs which we have through which we do the work. And there are 5 organs with which we do the sensing. 5 karmendriya and 5 gyanendriya. But we have got 11th one, and that is called the man, the mind. All those 10 are useless. All those 10 cannot feel anything if the man is not connected with that organ. And that is why it is so here when it is told that, oh, you take all your senses out. In other words, suppose I like to eat sweets, but when the sweet comes, I run away. No. It is not running away from the object physically. It may come in contact with me, because in the life, most of the time, what happens is that you cannot control how the things come to you. Things will come to you. So leaving the thing physically doesn't work. It will come to us. So what is controllable is our sensing through our organs with that object. That is controllable. And that is to be taken in. It is not the physical part. Because here the example looks physical, that how the, he is taking the organs in. The kurma, the turtle. Because the literal translation will become like one who is able to withdraw the senses from their objects. Just as the tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, is established in the divine wisdom. Yeah, this is what is explained. So we have to understand what it means. It is not the physical. We have to get a disconnect and keep away. It is good to have it, like we know it, like nobody eats poison, we all know, so we maintain it. But for the other things, we don't. And so it is very important that we take ourselves away, we take the sensing of our organs away from that the object. That is important. जिस तरह कछुआ अपने अंगों को सब ओर से समेट लेता है, ऐसे ही जिस काल में यह कर्मयोगी इंद्रियों के विषयों से, इंद्रियों को सब प्रकार से समेट लेता है, हटा लेता है, तब उसकी बुद्धि प्रतिष्ठित हो जाती है, स्थिर हो जाती है. आई थिंक इट इज अ लिटिल रिवर्स. जिसकी बुद्धि स्थिर हो जाती है वो अपने आप हट जाता है. वन whose intellect has become steadfast, automatically he will be away from those senses, the feeling of senses. So here the God has given excellent example with very thoughtful way. Okay, so let us do a little more detailed analysis here. Why did the God took the example of tortoise? Why not any other animal? Why did the God took a example of an animal who is having some capability? So let us see the capability of a tortoise. What is number one capability? It is amphibian. It can live on land. It can live on inside the water also. A person who is able to live in any situation. He can even make a burrow and go inside the sand also. A person who can live in any situation is the first condition to become a anasakta, to become a sthita pragya. Tasya pragya pratishtita. To become a sthita pragya, number one is you should be able to live in any situation. So some people say that I am very cool and calm, but in some other cases when the situation changes, the person becomes very unstable. What does it mean? It means that the person inside is not correct. The person inside has still not achieved the status of anasakta, the status of sthita pragya. He or she is only stable in some cases. When the situation changes, the person becomes unstable. That should not be the case. A person in all the situation should have the same calmness. That is why the example of tortoise is taken, turtle is taken. Because a turtle is an amphibian. He can live inside a sand, in a burrow. A turtle can live in water. A turtle can live on land also. Even I have heard that turtle can even climb a tree also. I do not know. Maybe you can check. So, amphibian is the first quality. One who is not shaken up in any situation is the first quality. And another message is that there will be various situations coming in the life. So, and you behave like a turtle. It's the same thing. Now somebody will say that, oh, does it happen that everybody goes through every situation? Yeah, it is true. Somebody say, oh, if there is a very poor beggar who has got nothing, who has got no home, he is homeless, he is having no money, he is very weak, he has no clothes, is he not a very unhappy person? Well, you must have already seen, when the beggars are there, maybe if you have observed it, especially, when you go to a pilgrimage place or something, there are so many beggars. Okay, and they all have a good, they have got a good interpersonal relationship. They know, they are the biggest psychiatrists. I always joke at it. They know exactly how to melt your heart and get the money out of your pocket. Yeah, either by giving a blessing or showing that, oh, I am a crippled person or whatever way. I am a very needy person. That is how the beggars get the money. So when they get the money, they also have a very good social connection. So when they all gather in the evening, they share. They say, oh, I got batata vada today. There was a Seth who was coming out of a hotel. I asked him, oh, I am very hungry. Give me some food. So he gave me batata vada. Another guy say, oh, but there is one Seth who was coming out of temple. He gave me this 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Then they all gather together and they share equally. And look at their face. They are laughing. They are smiling. They are joking at each other. So there is happiness. There is happiness in their life. Chemically and biologically also, physiology or anatomy wise also, what is happiness? Is some kind of a chemical which comes out of your head is making the person happy. So when that beggar gets a batata vada or gets a $10 note as a donation, the same chemical oozes out of his brain exactly same chemical in the same amount which oozes out with a person who got a new Mercedes. Physiologically, it is same thing. That is why they are both happy. They feel happy. So situation outside world doesn't change the inside part of the person. That is what I meant to say. A person can become happy in the worst condition also, and a person can become unhappy in the best conditions. So conditions will keep on changing, but being a turtle means we are being amphibian, and you are going to use that quality of a turtle, happiness and unhappiness. Yeah. Another part is when it is taking the senses in means what? It is whenever required you take it out. Here also there are two messages. Number one, God is clearly telling that you need to react, behave, act in the society. You just can't leave the world. I do namaskar to the people who leave all their clothes. They leave everything. They leave the whole sansar. But still, on the other side, if you see, they still come in the sansar back, asking for donations from the Gruhasti to run their matha. My namaskar to them. They have left the society. That's a great part. But they still need it. So they have to come in the society back. They fall sick. They get injured. They need a band-aid. They feel hungry. They need some alm, some bhiksha. So, important part is you take it out when needed, as and when needed. And you take it in as and when not needed. So, number one, you have to use it. You cannot leave. You cannot say that I will always keep it in. You have to utilize it. You have to use it. And make sure that when we are using it, it doesn't get the indulgence with the sensing. When you are connecting with the object. And the connection will be with material world as well as the spiritual world. So it is not only the sansar part of it. It is even the spiritual world also. It is exactly same thing. When to go out and when to come in is important. Imagine, let us take an example of spirituality. Imagine there is a soldier. There is an attack on the country, and the soldier is supposed to go on the border, fight and kill the enemy. At that moment, if the soldier is thinking about spirituality, about the humanity, about the continuity of life and all those things, what will happen? He will not be able to fight. In fact, it is very evident because here the whole Gita is started from that only. A soldier who is Arjun is not ready to fight because he is trying to see the spirituality side of the world. He is not supposed to do that. And that is why the God told the whole Gita. It's very, very important to understand. Whenever required to do your duties, you take your organs out. You utilize your skills. You use your senses. And whenever it is against getting an attachment, then you take it in. That is what the God means over here. Senses can be used in all areas. Material world and spiritual world. Also, if we see, the turtle doesn't take the organs in all the time. It is only when there is a risk. Whenever there is a risk, whenever there is a fear, the turtle takes it in. So what is the fear connected to us when we want to take it in? The fear of attachment. The moment we think that we are getting dragged by the indriya and our intellect stops working and the indriya, the senses are pulling us, we are just merely becoming the slave of the senses. That is the fear, and that is where we stop. We stop the indriya and say that no, you can't do this. That is the place where we have to stop. That is the risk, threat. And to do that, we have to have a control on it. When we say you take it in, that means the turtle has got a control on his senses, on his organs to take it in. Doctor has told you should not eat more, you have got a cholesterol. But when the fried items, the samosas and the puris and pakodis are coming, uncontrolled, because the tongue likes it. So people start eating, lot of eating. The doctor is told, no, you cannot eat fried item, but I will eat 10 samosas with chutneys. When to take it in is important part. Risk. When the risk of getting attachment through it, the dragging of the object, dragging by the object to us through indriya and through the mind, that is the place where we have to start taking that organ in. Not physically, in the mind, because as I told, it is not the touch, it is not the connection of the object with the organs, it is the sensing within the in our limbs and all, which is dragging us. It is not our tongue which is getting pulled in. It is the taste of the samosas which pulls us in. So the tongue may be in connection with the samosa, but if it is not being pulled in, then we are okay. So in other words, we can eat samosas, we can eat all the food, but don't get pulled by it. Don't get pulled, don't get dragged by. I need money. Money is good, money is required, but don't get dragged by it. Food, same way, anything, pain, anything. The things which are dragging us, it takes ourselves beyond our own capacity and our own, betterment. That is what is to be stopped. That is what it is telling here. Senses should not control the intellect. Whenever needed, the senses should be stopped, going by its own and pulling the mind and intellect with it. The senses has to stop. Now, how to stop it? It should be if somebody has ride a horse, they may be knowing about it. If you ride a horse which is like a very powerful horse, even in a car, I think in some cases people accelerate and they really go like, because they do not know how much power the car has. But a horse is a better example there. You ride a horse. If the horse is very powerful, you cannot hold the rein. The horse will drag you with it. That is how the indriyas take us with it. And that is to be stopped with the intellect. Now here the question will come. There is a word. We are already almost 2 minutes we have only. So we have got a two-part in it. That there is a word which is called as the indriya nigraha, and other word is indriya daman. So when we are telling that you control your senses, which way to control? This is the question. When you take it in, how do you take it in? Do you do it by indriya nigraha or do you do it by indriya daman? These are two big schools of thoughts. Two big schools of thoughts. Indriya daman is in Jainism and other schools of thoughts, whereas indriya nigraha is in the Sanatana Dharma. So we will try to see that what is indriya nigraha. Indriya nigraha means it is controls of senses. इंद्रियों को इस प्रकार वश में करना कि वो मन को चंचल न कर सके, मन को चंचल ना कर सके, ऐसे वश में करना. That is what Sanatana Dharma says. Indriya nigraha, not indriya daman. Suppression of senses is not advocated by Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are almost at the end of the Pravachan now. We have got 1 minute left. So next time when we come, we will understand this very important topic is what is indriya nigraha and what is indriya daman, and why we should follow a specific path of indriya nigraha and why not to do indriya daman. We will understand it when we come next time. I wish everyone a nice weekend. It's very sunny and beautiful day today. So enjoy your time till it starts snowing in few weeks. and wishing you all the best till we meet on next Saturday, same time at 10 o'clock at Jai Durga Temple. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमार्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः.